Oh, yeah, that's a good question, but I think one of the most important things which we have to realize in the West, because we have many strange ideas about Russia, is that Russia is definitely not the Soviet Union when it comes to power and influence. That is one of the main misunderstandings, which I think also have led to the policy of trying to appease Russia, because Russia is very strong and it's very dangerous, and we can't conquer or we can't beat Russia anyway. In Russia, I would say, is maybe in general about 20% the power has about 20% of the power of the Soviet Union system. Economically, militarily, and politically, you can discuss how much Russia has today. But what I think Russia really has is a kind of strong tradition of imperial thinking. And what I also think is obvious is that Russia never really stopped thinking it that way. Because if you look at what happened in Russia, when we speak about the decolonization, I think we're speaking about three different, let's say, levels, or at least three different levels of decolonization. We have the decolonization of the Soviet Empire, which started from 89 to 91, and which, in my eyes, still hasn't finished. It is still going on. And then we have the possible decolonization of the Russian Federation. That is definitely an interesting issue and a topic which we have to address. There are voices saying that we can only have a sustainable peace when decolonization of the Russian Federation has been fulfilled one way or another. And then we have the question of the decolonization of Ukraine. I will just mention a few things related to the Russian imperial thinking. First of all, in the same moment as the Soviet Union fell apart, they established the CIS, the Commonwealth of Independent States, which was a kind of, let's say, the next best solution to things, to keep things together. But that was not the only thing that was established. Already in the first foreign policy documents, strategic documents of the new Russian Federation, it was stated that there was something called the Nearer Abroad. And the Nearer Abroad was more or less defined as all the former Soviet republics, maybe except the Baltic states, but anyway, it was a kind of way to express that Russia still thinks to have a sphere of at least influence and a sphere of interest too. And other things were going on. I think that one of the things which Putin took as something very important when he came to power at the beginning of 2000, that was that he remembered what Yevgeny Primakov had been saying when he was telling about how could Russia again become a respected great power, if not superpower, but then at least great power, by reintegrating the former Soviet Union. That was the recipe, and it still is the recipe, however you look at it.